Hello, this is Brookings Rail Watch, and the other day I decided to go to Des Moines to see what their railroads are like. Starting in Brookings, I go down I29, then near Missouri Valley, get onto 880, which connects to I80 and leads straight to Des Moines. Of course, it's not just about being in Des Moines, but also stopping at all of the little co-ops that have old rotting switchers, such as the one just north of Jefferson, South Dakota. Along County Road 1B, you will find Southeast Farmers Elevator Grain Terminal, which has this old red and white SW1. This engine was built in 1953 for the Chicago and Northwestern, later going to independent locomotive service in 1977, then Con-Agra in 1989. It now has a Southeast Farmers logo and has been in Jefferson since at least 2007. I plan to get a lot of the other co-ops on the way back up. Just as it was getting dark, I stopped in Missouri Valley because there's a Union Pacific yard. Though it was completely empty, I caught a short train passing through with two SD70Ms. The next day I was in Des Moines. First on the list of things to see was the northernmost Union Pacific yard. There was a small switching job going on at the time, but other than that it wasn't very busy. Towards the industrial end of the yard I did see Iowa Interstate number 720. The center of town has a very large and complicated rail area. Before getting to UP's short line yard, I caught three engines moving around, who later worked on assembling a train. The east end of the yard has an overpass, which provides a great view of switching operations. Then there's the Norfolk Southern Yard, which wasn't very accessible but has some BNSF power sitting around the entrance. A short ways down the road is the second co-op to stop at. Countrywide Grain Terminal has a bright blue GP7R. It was built in 1953 for the Rock Island. The Chicago and Northwestern also got their hands on this one and cut the high hood down. Countrywide Grain has had this for at least a decade. Back in the main area, Heartland Co-op has a pair of SW1200s, MDLX 931 and 8934. 931 also started its life on the Rock Island in 1965. It then went to HZRX at some point, and eventually to MDLX. 8934 was built in 1957 for Canadian National. After this, I find contradicting information on who owned it on railroadpicturearchives.net, but the important thing is now it's MDLX 8934. Well, I've seen everything there is to see in Des Moines, so I'm back in the Saturn tearing down Interstate 80. Take exit 40 and drive south for a while until you get to Hancock, Iowa, where this very Canadian-looking GP9RM resides. Nobody has a serial number, so nobody knows its origin, besides the whole Canadian national thing. In doing some research, I found some kid made a YouTube video about how awesome this thing is, so go check that out if you have the time. The custom air conditioning system is interesting. It seems they couldn't figure out how to connect it to the electrical system, so they just used an extension cord and portable generator. This is Salix, Iowa. We have a Union Pacific train coming a few miles south of Sioux City. And down that way behind the train is Sloan or Sloan. Caught it there earlier, moving very slow, so I chased it up the interstate. I reckon it's going about 25 miles. On the way, I saw there should be 4 engines on the front and 1 in the middle. I didn't see what was on the back.
After the first 4 engines, there were 115 cars, then a 5th engine, and after the 5th engine, there were another 85 cars, making a total of 200 cars.
Here comes the second one. There is a big industrial complex across the interstate from Salix. This place is big enough that it has some of its own locomotives. However, as industrials usually are, it isn't always easy to see them. I came here because I knew they had some old General Electric road switchers. And while I didn't get a very good picture, I did spot the green B23-7 that I wanted to see. That's it for this video, so I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.